Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Deanna and you're watching Orchie D. I didn't do an Orchies in Bloom in February, so I'm doing one now, but I'm trying to capture like the flowers in bloom when they're actually in bloom, and I have to say I am failing pretty miserably. For most of them I have been getting at least like still shots, and I post a lot of them onto my Instagram account actually, so if you're interested, I do have the name of my Instagram account at the end of my videos recently, so yeah, feel free to check it out. It's just a lot of orchid flowers and dog photos. So this is my BLC Copper Queen, and she's absolutely stunning. So when she opened up, she was actually much more coppery, so a very orangey colour, and over a few days she fades out to this sort of colour, but you can see how beautiful this flower is. Now it's a brassavola cross, and I have smelt it at night. It does not have any fragrance at all at any time of the day, so that's unfortunate, but just looking at the flower, it is absolutely perfect. It's so pretty. Now the little lip in the middle just has a beautiful contrasting yellow and sort of dark pink dots, and it too sort of fades a little bit with time, like background darkness sort of fades out and it becomes quite a bright yellow. But you can see it's a fairly big sized flower, and the fact that it just fades out over time, it just means like over the period of its bloom, you get to enjoy different contrasts and different tones of colour. So this is a plant actually that got divided when I repotted it. So those bigger flowers are coming from the newest cane off the front portion, but the back bulbs did produce a couple of new growths, and one of them did manage to flower. So this is the flower that came out of there. You can see that there's a little bit of colour break, so the yellow isn't uniform. The flower itself, you know, there's a lot of, I guess, what do they call it, like flexing back of these sepals. I think it's the back bulbs are weak, you know, they're developing their root systems, the growths themselves are very small. It was all originally the same plant quite a few months ago, so yeah, I don't see why the back part would be virused and the front wouldn't, so yeah, but I'm hopeful that it'll pick up and the next round of growths will also flower. Now over here we've got the saddest of little sad droopy flowers. You can see that they're on their way out, but having said that, it was always a droopy little flower, so it opened up pretty nicely. So it kind of opened up looking like this, and you can see like the width from one end of the petals to the other is actually quite wide, so it's a decent sized flower, and I actually really like this colour, like this plum sort of colour. Now the fragrance on this was phenomenal, it was so nice. The name of this is Elsie Condo crossed with Elsie Maui Plum Volcano Queen. But yeah, after a few days of opening, it started getting a bit droopy. Not to this extent, but it's still got a bit droopy, and I'll put a picture up of what it looked like. So yeah, I don't know. I will tell you, this was worth it for the fragrance because it was really lovely and really quite strong. Like it filled, every time we walked past this area, we just got this magnificent waft of this fragrance. But the flowers, well, yeah, I can't say, you know, if only they'd stayed more open, it might have been a bit better. But that might just be because, you know, the plant itself is probably a little bit dehydrated, and maybe it just didn't hold the flowers as well. Maybe it usually does a bit better, so we'll see. Now next door again we've got this absolutely perfect little Paphiopedilum. Now this one's my little pride and joy this month. She's been in bloom for over a month now and still looks absolutely beautiful. The name of this girl is Cherry Glaze Full Gloss crossed with Fairyarnum, and the depth of colour on it is just beautiful. So it is obviously a Fairyarnum cross, and it has, you know, like this little, I like to call it a hat, but it's the dorsal sepal, and it's just really stunning. In the right light, when it has the light shining on it, it just has this beautiful cherry colour, and you can see the petals here with a hint of green in the middle, but the striping is stunning, the little hairs are beautiful, and it's just perfectly symmetrical. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And it's got a beautiful full pouch there. You can see it's probably about 3 inches in length, and probably like 2 inches from side to side. So yeah, I think we'll enjoy this one for at least another month to come. Okay guys, and next up we've got my 2 beautiful species flowers, and also my beautiful species French Bulldog, who is just destroying shit next to me. Yes, yes. Thank you, Frankie. Anyway, back to the plants again. This is my Falviolacea, looking as vibrant as ever. This is probably her 3rd flower now, and see another little one on the way. But as I'm filming this, I just keep getting little wafts of my Falbellina. It's looking very beautiful. I just can't get enough of the contrast on this flower. It's just so beautiful. Frankie, yes? He just wants to take the spotlight. But you can see this flower spike's looking... So it's really annoying actually, because it sort of points up and then it's starting to face downwards now. So I think I'm just going to have to change the decorative container to a smaller one. But yeah, hopefully we've still got a month or 2 left of warm weather so we can enjoy the blooms on these guys. Next up guys, we've got my Fragment Patty Cardinal. You can see this is the tag here. The variety's Birchwood, and you can see it's won some awards. Now I got this one before I went on holidays and repotted it in October, so I've had it since about July last year, and you can see since I've repotted it and put it in this setup, it's just taken off. It's grown all those roots since October, and honestly, like, I leave it standing in that little bit of water, but it drinks it up within 2 days. Like, it just drinks like an absolute fish, grows beautifully, and you can see it's got 2 flower spikes there. Now the flowers are beautiful. I do like them. I love the colour. You can see that beautiful bright pink pouch, and I love the form of the pouch, but I am just finding some of the flowers to not be as, I guess, appealing as some. This one has been sort of pinned back a little bit, so it's got a nice little dorsal sepal, so the whole flower is sort of exposed. Paphs and frags do tend to have a little bit of a sort of forward curving dorsal sepal, and I think that's to protect the pouch from collecting, I don't know, a lot of water in the rain and things. But I find with these flowers, the petals themselves are also quite reflexed forward. Is that the right word? Reflexed? I don't know. They sort of curve forward a bit, and I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. I prefer a more open sort of structure to the flower. Some flowers are worse than others, but you can see it's flowered a few times now. This flower spike has flowered once before. It's got another bud on the way, you can see there, but this one's flowered about 4 times now. Now the flowers don't really last that long for me, and I feel like they should be lasting longer. And what keeps happening is it keeps being quite sensitive to falling off, like from the wind or just from a little bit of knocking, and it tends to separate right at that point there at the base of the flower, and it leaves like the rest of that little stalk behind. So I don't know if that's because the plant's a little bit weak, or if it's a trait of this Phragmipedium, I don't know, but it's really annoying because the blooms, sometimes they fall off looking like, you know, they don't even look like they're going brown or expiring, and they just fall off after about a week. Anyway, the flowers themselves I do love. They're very little. You can see that it's only about maybe 6 centimeters diameter, but that little pouch is just really adorable. And yeah, I guess it is my first Phragmipedium ever to flower, so I do adore it. It is very vigorous, and you know, overall it is growing very well for me. So guys, next up I'm proud to show you my very first Vanda blooms for the year. And this is an Ascocenda. Let me get the tag. This is Ascocenda Sook Sunrun Sunlight, and I got it in bloom last year. As you may or may not know, at the end of last year I changed the setup for the Vandas, and I've potted them mostly in like these wooden baskets and put them in some like rock, which has been retaining the moisture a bit better. So they've been going through a little bit of a, I guess, roller coaster of a year. You know, I've been trying to find the best spot for them in terms of light. I've been trying to keep up with their watering pretty unsuccessfully last year with the heat and my ever increasing workload. So yeah, I put them in that medium, and it's been retaining more water, and they've actually been mostly doing really well until about a couple of weeks ago when I burnt a couple of them when I accidentally burnt a few of them in the direct sunlight. But yeah, most of them are doing pretty well, and I must say I absolutely am in love with the vibrancy of the colour of this. Look how deep that orange is. It's just beautiful. You can see it sort of opens up like that typical Ascocenda cluster, and it's got a few buds left to go. Let's just zoom in on one of these flowers here. Doesn't it just look like a little bee or something with 2 little beady eyes? So pretty. And lastly guys, we've got this beautiful Brassia hybrid. This is Oncidium Phoenix Rising White Light, and you'll have to excuse the lighting, it's just suddenly gotten really overcast. But this big Oncidium's brought out a lovely big flower spike with lots of flowers, but you'll see the display is a little bit odd because all the flowers have opened upside down for some reason, and I don't know why. I brought it inside from the balcony as the flower spike was just beginning to develop. It's been in exactly the same position, in exactly the same orientation from the window, so they're all facing the same way, they're just orientated upside down. So anyway, if you guys have any tips on what I should have done better for a better display next time, please put it in the comment section below. But for now we'll just focus on the flowers because they really are quite lovely. But it's got a really smooth buttery sort of texture to the colour. The lips, just this pure glistening white with a lovely little brown pattern and maroon patterning on the inner sort of aspect of the petals and sepals, and it's got that really typical sort of star shape to it. It smells like that typical peppery Brassia smell, which I must say I'm not a huge fan of, and it's actually overtaking the Bellina fragrance a little bit, which is a bit disappointing, so I might move it, but the flowers themselves are very nice. If only they were facing the right way. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this combined March February Orchies in Bloom. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more orchid videos. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you guys next time. Happy growing until then. Bye.